What would be helpful today?
Well, first, I just want to thank you for creating this time. I'm grateful to connect with you.
Absolutely, yeah. I want to do everything we can to make sure it's super helpful.
Thank you. So at this point, I am graduating in December. I have
Hmm.
already established like a paid position where I am building my own caseload. I'm EMDR trained, and so obviously that's an asset. And
Hmm.
it allows me to leverage like even being, pre-licensed higher rates.
Hmm.
And so, kind of like right now, today, I have a full caseload. And my vision for the next 3 and 6 months is to add in more self pay with my like preferred rate. So as an intern, my supervisor's kind of practice building process was like $60 sessions. So I was
Hmm.
basically working not for free. Let's, be transparent because many interns are working for free, but I was
Right.
working for very little, right? And so
Hmm.
now I'm moving into this space of naming like, no, my rate is 175. That's my intention. And my vision is that if I can have like 20 to 30 clients paying that full rate, that those clients all on their own make for me the income that I want each month. Um,
Hmm.
and then everything else I have on my case. So like the folks who are still grandfathered in at that earlier rate or my Medicaid folks, I will still see them, but that's like my Amazon money. And then
Yeah, got
like
it.
the new self-pay, that's like my bill money, my, legacy income. So
Hmm.
that's a growth goal. And then like 6 month goal of starting a course. So those are my
Hmm.
two kind of like right now I'm planning for 3 and 6 months from now where that won't be a goal. That'll be like my, reality.
Okay. So, how many clients are you wanting to see total per week?
I don't know that I have an answer to that. And I say that because for the past 6 months, I've been working literally 70 hours a week between a full-time job, which I'm
Hmm.
leaving this month, and my caseload. So right now, I'm working 70 hours. I'd like to reduce that. And when I leave my full-time job, I do realistically have, like, let's say 30 extra hours a week where I'd be willing to see maybe 15 more clients. So maybe I'm
Hmm.
looking for 45 clients total where I'm seeing,
Okay.
like at that 175 rate, I would expect we're seeing each other once, maybe twice a month.
Oh, okay. So your full-time job now, is it clinical?
No,
Okay.
high school teacher.
Got it. Okay. Which has a whole other set of different hardness. Yeah. So what's recommended in private practice, the cutoff for where burnout really starts getting its claws into you is 26 clients a week total.
And my thinking is like, I don't want to be like, oh, but I can do it. But my thinking is my priority is around having 2 or 3 days off. So
Mhm.
like right now I have Saturday completely off. I want to extend that to Friday and then maybe like a half day virtual on Thursdays. So I feel that maybe Sunday right now I see like 10 folks. So maybe like 40 a week is my number. Maybe that's my
Okay.
number based on what I've been able to do and prioritizing like those days off.
Right. And when I think about the data, like it's across therapists, like I don't know what other responsibilities you have. I don't know what else your life looks like. I think for somebody who's, I don't know, do you have kids?
No, like I'm
So,
free in that way. So I don't
yeah,
have
free as a
others that I
bird.
care for. Um,
Hmm. So if
and
you're
I'm
not
already
caretaking a bunch of people, whether it's parents or kids, I think that there definitely can be some more leeway.
Mhm.
But and when you've been running as hard and as far and as long as you have been running, it's going to feel probably like bliss to work 40 hours a week.
Yeah, that's
Um,
my thinking.
yeah, and 40 hours a week of clinical work is heavy. So, I just wanna I just wanna put it out there for you to pay attention. Notice how your body responds over time to that many clients.
Hmm.
And the you were saying you expect them to come like once or twice a month at 175.
That's my assumption, and maybe that's wrong, but that feels like a safe assumption to each week have that 15 client caseload where they're paying that rate so that in the month I've seen at least 30, 40 clients at that rate.
Hmm. So it depends on how you set things up. If that's what you want, you can do that. I see my clients weekly until like a few months down the line.
Okay.
So you can say in like their initial phone call, or if there's a staff person who does the initial phone call, like you can say, I work with clients weekly until we both decide that clinically it makes more sense to go biweekly. And some clinicians only work weekly, like the end forever. Like when you don't need weekly anymore, you're done. So it really just depends on how you want to structure your practice. But the more clients you have, the more heaviness there is.
Okay. And I think that was maybe a limiting belief of like people will only pay this rate once a month. But I feel
Right.
like I'm hearing you say if I state the expectation that this is how we work together until
Hmm.
there's a community of people who will pay that rate weekly.
Yes.
Hmm.
Yes.
Then I
And it
want
all comes down to
them.
marketing, right? Yeah. It's helping them find you. That's your job. And also just thinking about it from not just the ease of practice and the heaviness of practice, but clinically, so much more work is going to get done for folks and within folks if they're meeting with you weekly
Hmm.
versus monthly. Yeah.
Yeah, that's already a mindset shift. I am working with someone who's building out like a funnel for marketing. And I've like had success with him before. That's kind of where I went from this jump from like, I have 10 clients to like, okay, I have a full caseload. Um,
Hmm.
so I think I just hoped, like, I've been trying to access this call essentially to like say out loud, this is my intention. And then have
Yeah.
someone else tell me, like someone with your experience, tell me it's possible and tell me what do I need to do to find, I
Hmm.
suppose, if I was seeing 20 weekly, yeah, 20 clients weekly at the 175 rate. If they'd see me weekly, I only need 20.
Hmm. Yeah. And that's easier to get 20 people than 40 people
Right.
or more. What marketing strategies has he used that's worked for you?
In the past, he did Facebook ads, and I would say that was sort of like throwing spaghetti at the wall a little bit because
Hmm.
we got a lot of like, and I was in the past, the niche was different. I was marketing for Medicaid, EMDR, which is like red hot, um,
Hmm.
and or like $60 EMDR sessions. So now the niche is more refined, $175. And he said essentially we want to like help folks understand that they want to pay to work with me, not like
Hmm.
they're looking at the rate or the services, but
Right.
like it's a me value. So in the past, Facebook marketing worked. Now he's going to use Google ads. And so he's
Hmm.
like building that funnel right now.
Okay. And what's your niche?
Trauma.
Okay. So it's people who've already identified that they have trauma, or they think it's anxiety, but it's really trauma.
I mean, I would say the like my ideal client has done some work already. So they've got the
Okay.
resources, they've got coping skills, and the story that like I tend to resonate well with is like I've done a lot of talking about my trauma and I'm still hurting. So like
Hmm.
I've got coping skills and I'm still hurting. And so
Yeah.
that client I do very well with them.
Love that. And that's great specificity for Facebook ads, potentially. So like share that with your Facebook ad person. Um, I find that the therapists who also like their clients who've had therapy before, but they just like haven't gotten up underneath whatever the thing is. Um, when you say that, clients lend you more credibility immediately, right? Of like, oh, okay, you're going to do the things that my other therapists haven't done.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, it's relieving to them, and that's the number one thing we want our clients to feel when they find us is
Okay.
relief.
Hmm.
And the best way we can do that, like if you're running that Google ad, that means you're gonna like have a web page that they go to. You want to talk about them, not you. You want to talk about them, not EMDR. Make sure you're really nailing their daily lived experience.
Hmm. Hmm. Mm. At what point do I start? How long will it take for me to find these 20 clients with a strong marketing funnel?
It just varies drastically. I wish I could give you a number. It varies by niche, it varies by location, it varies by marketing strategies you're using, by what year you're doing it. Like if you had done this 3 years ago, it'd be like that. But these days it takes longer. So I don't want to speculate because I don't want you to be like, I have just enough saved for that exact
Oh,
date.
and no, I also don't want you to worry that I'm like, I have this much money. When will it be ready? Like I'm
Hmm.
prepared for it to take as long as it takes.
Hmm.
What would you say is like a realistic, maybe as short as, possibly as long as?
I would say, okay, 2025 is different. I would say maybe as short as 4 months, maybe as long as 12.
Okay.
If you're consistent and like, you and the ad guy are really looking at the data, tweaking things, ads don't work for everybody. So it might also be that it doesn't work for the people who are willing to pay 175. Like those people might not be looking for their therapist on Facebook or
Mm-hmm,
looking for their therapist on Google. So making sure you're using those other strategies once you have time, like networking and those kinds of things in order to not have all your eggs in the ads basket.
mm-hmm. Ad guy also shared that he wants to build an evergreen system where like I have a YouTube and I have like a more built online presence. How essential would you say that is right now at this point?
Not.
Okay. Oh,
Right now, you're working 70 hours a week. There's very little that's essential.
okay.
I love that you're farming stuff out because I can't imagine you trying to do all the work that you need to do to get a practice off the ground, in addition to all the work you're currently doing.
And the reality is, if I did nothing at all right now and just sat with the caseload that I have, that's a sustainable income. And
Mhm.
I've gotten very spoiled because I've been working both jobs. And so
Right.
I've got now this vision of like, but if I had X number of self-pay clients, I could work far less and have the income I've been having working more. So now I've
Right.
had a taste of like that financial freedom. And I,
Hmm. Yes, good for you. Yeah.
Mhm. So I'm hearing you say that I should make sure that the landing page focuses on the client story,
Hmm.
not the modalities and not me. It's all about their story. So they feel a sense of relief when they read their story and recognize I'm someone who understands it. Um,
Hmm.
it might take as little as 4 months to get the clients I want, as long as 12 months. And I heard you say that people will pay this rate weekly.
Hmm.
That's my ideal client, someone who's willing to do the work and has the resources to pay it weekly so we can move forward faster
Hmm.
and so that I don't have to have such a huge caseload.
Yeah. Yeah.
At what point should I be thinking about the course?
I usually don't recommend thinking about courses for most therapists. And if
Okay.
they do, I'm talking like years into practice where everything is streamlined and easy.
Okay.
Like I'd rather you be in a position where you're charging 250 or 300 per session. You're seeing a handful of clients and you're like, you know what? I got a little extra energy and time and money. What do I want to do with it? Maybe build a course.
Mm,
Because courses, the marketing of courses is so much more robust than anybody is going to tell you who is selling you the opportunity to start a course.
okay. Cool.
Everybody makes it sound like make money in your sleep, but it is like, yeah, make money in your sleep because you marketed 4 hours a day for, 5 to 7 days a week for years.
Got it.
So
Mm-hmm.
I would rather you have everything you want in one business until or unless you get this itch where you're like, I'm just so on fire about creating this thing, I can't not.
Okay. You just said something that like kind of broke my brain. So I want to say it
Okay.
out loud and explore it with you. I was thinking that my rate is 175 and you just said something
Mhm.
like 200 or 250 and I'm wondering when will people pay that much to work with me?
When you set the fee and market well enough.
And so, okay,
Your
object
face, I wish I could frame that.
I'm just because I mean I know there's value in working with me, like I have a master's in public health and so I come into counseling with this like history of other experience that
Mhm.
underscores the work I do. So like am I right now as I'm preparing to launch this funnel, is 175 too low?
I wouldn't say it's a low fee. It's still considered a premium fee. And I think getting your feet wet with a higher fee will probably help. Ultimately, are you familiar with Tiffany McLean over at Lean and Make Bank?
Mm-mm.
She's a great person to follow. She's
Mm.
got a fun with fees calculator on her homepage, and it
Mhm.
helps you figure out what fee you need to set. So I would recommend that.
Okay.
And because it really is ultimately about what do you need to live the life that you want and need to live? The one that allows for vacations, the one that allows for you to put away to retirement, pay off student loans, all of it. And
Mm.
for most of us, it's not what insurance is going to pay us.
Right.
So I would check her out. She's also got a great podcast called The Money Sessions, and she's got a great program called Lean and Make Bank that kind of walks people through the process. I feel like I'm a salesperson for Tiffany, but we share a lot of clients. She's amazing.
Yeah.
So it's a good mindset thing to think through. Like, what do I need to be living the life that I want to live? And then it makes it really a lot easier to stand by your fee because it's not this
Mhm.
arbitrary number. Especially when the people, there are therapists, you might be in school with some of them who are like shouting about accessibility, and anybody who isn't taking Medicaid and Medicare and only sliding scale, all those people are just greedy and in it for the wrong reasons, right? But if you're really clear, like, well, I'd like to pay my rent every single month, and I'd like to be able to go out to eat when I want to go out to eat, and that's not harmful to our culture or society,
Yeah.
then when those people come at you, which they will at some point when you have a higher fee,
Mhm.
it's easier to kind of not let it get in.
Okay. And so with that understanding, a wondering I have, would it be, does it make more, I guess I can't ask this question well, so I'll just put the words out.
Mhm.
Should there be two rates? Like if I'm looking for EMDR, this is the rate, and if I'm looking for, no,
No,
rate is,
one of my favorite marketing mantras is a confused mind says no. If you
Mhm.
have two rates and they don't know which one it is, they're going to go to another therapist.
Okay,
So make it super clear and easy.
okay. And then I guess follow-up question, 175 is still a premium rate. I could and should be thinking of charging more as I think about the quality of life I want and the like amount of income I need to sustain that. So, do I start at 175 and then in 6 months reevaluate?
Yeah, I usually recommend a yearly increase. Put it
Okay,
in your paperwork so that it's something
great,
your clients know is going to come.
great.
Um, Give them like 2 months to 6 weeks notice that it's going up.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
It's nice to have it in January, just because it's a nice fresh start to the year.
And so, do you lose clients when that increase comes?
It depends on the increase. I've had some people increase $100 a session because they were just like so much lower than they needed to be, and they lost some folks that way. But usually a 25 to $50 increase doesn't lose a bunch of people, especially if you're already at a premium fee, because somebody who can afford 175 can also probably afford 225.
Okay.
And because it's your practice, if somebody can't and you love working with them and they're like, I can't do that, then you can be like, all right, what about 200? Would you be able to do that? No? Okay. We can keep it 175 for the next 6 months and we'll reevaluate. It's your practice, your rules. So
Okay.
there can be some flexibility, or it can be rigid if that's what you need.
Okay. 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 So my rate is 175. My landing page will sell the story that the client is experiencing. They'll feel
Mhm.
resonance with no confusion. I can and will find the number of clients I need who will pay that rate weekly. And in
Mhm.
my intake call or in my consult call, I'm making it clear that I'd like to work together weekly until clinically it makes sense to reduce the
Mhm.
frequency, which is
Yeah.
like when I'm thinking separate from dollar amount, like that's my approach.
Mhm.
Weekly just makes sense until it doesn't.
Yeah.
So I want someone who can afford that rate weekly comfortably.
Mhm.
Okay. And then over the next 4 months, those clients are going to come in by the next year. It's reasonable to be in a different point where I'm now increasing my rate by 25 to 50.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah.
And then eventually I'll do a course when I have so much free time and the systems are just running, but
Mhm.
not at any point before that because it's going to burn me out.
Yeah. And I would really, really love for you to like get into this point where you're like, oh, I have so much of a life. This is
Mm,
so great because I'm imagining 70 hours a week. There's just not a lot of time for life.
Not much.
So I'd love for you to like relearn what you like for fun
Hmm.
and what relationships you want to spend more time with.
Yeah. Okay. Given all what you know about me and just this initial impression, what will my practice be like in 6 months?
Ooh. Well, what I've gotten so far, like you are efficient as hell. Like
Mhm.
you are so efficient. So and you are somebody who gets shit done. I can tell already. So the efficiency and the getting shit done is going to help you move a lot faster than the people who perseverate and wonder if this is the right move and let me think about it for another 2 months. So I can't predict what your practice would look like in 6 months, but I wouldn't be surprised if you were full in 6 months and you were um, maybe starting to be like, okay, this is a lot of clients. And as your lower fee people are graduating out of therapy or moving away or whatever, starting to not take on clients in their spot and instead getting to that place where, 6 months later, you've got all premium fee at your new higher rate, and you're not having to work so many hours.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. What are your thoughts, or what is your, I almost feel like I'm answering the question. This feels like an example of sort of what pro bono might look like in your space. Like, obviously, I'm a paid member, and this is
Hmm.
a premium call that I'm getting
Yeah.
through my membership, and it was like a lottery. So that's my observation. But then my wondering is, what does pro bono look like when you're a premium rate provider?
Yes, great question. So it totally depends. Like you'll hear if you dive into Tiffany's world, Tiffany and I differ in our opinions on this. There's no right or wrong way. Um, but I think we would both agree you have to kind of earn your way into offering pro bono or
Okay.
sliding scale.
Okay.
A lot of therapists want to come in with a bunch of sliding scale and pro bono, and then they can't pay their bills because their
Got it.
caseload's full of people who are doing the best they can financially.
Yeah.
But it's not going to pay that therapist bills. So for me, I keep at least one or two spots available that are super low fee
Mm-hmm.
because I charge 300 and I'm
Mm-hmm.
about to go to 400.
Okay.
But I keep a $50 spot or two available at any given time.
Okay.
And I have a group practice, another person working with me where we had a hurricane in our town and a lot of people were in bad shape. So like she's also got a pro bono spot that she keeps in addition to some sliding scale folks.
Mm-hmm.
So, but you have to have all your bills paid, your retirement paid, your like paying down your student loans faster, like whatever your financial goals are, you need to make sure all those things are handled first.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then you can have as many pro bono spots as your heart desires, as long as it doesn't start burning you out or you don't start getting resentful.
Mm-hmm. And so it sounds like it's similar to the course, where that's a beautiful idea for the future. Once the engine
Yeah.
is running so smoothly that now I can
Hmm.
do whatever the hell I want.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. Ooh, this is so helpful. And so I guess I'm wondering, at this point, I'm in the abundance practice and I haven't been using the resources, and I think it's just because I haven't had time to dig into them. I
Fair.
feel like this resource, like the access to this call, was worth all what I've paid. Um, how should I move forward to make better use of that membership so I'm not just like, oh, I paid again?
Yeah. I would, with your schedule, maybe do like the Build the Right Practice course is always the course I recommend first. It's about an hour, maybe a little tiny bit more. Do that this week. Like just add 1 hour a week at most of work on your practice.
Mm-hmm,
And then the next week, maybe do know your niche. So you can get some more specificity because that's going to really help with that landing page. And then there's the marketing fundamentals course that you can tackle after that. And that one's pretty robust because it's got all these different marketing strategies. Uh, Inside of that is an easy, effective website copy. And you can use the homepage template for your landing page if it's going to make writing that easier.
mm-hmm. Okay, cool. And then when do I either pay for or try to access another call with you?
So every 6 months, you guys have the opportunity to get a free one. We also have a package just for people in the party that's 3 calls with me that are an hour long or 50 minutes long for $1,200. So that's available through there.
And so based on like my current plan and the next steps I am taking, when do you think would be most meaningful to either pay for or attempt to access a call?
I get through graduation and get some time. So in January, will you be done with your high school job?
Oh, I'm putting in my 2 weeks in 2 weeks. And so December I'll be done.
Congrats. Okay, great. So I'd
Mhm.
wait until you've not just had some downtime compared to what you've been doing, but also like been able to dive into some of the resources, um, and maybe start to build out things. If at that point you want me to look at your landing page, I'm happy to give you feedback on that during a one-on-one call. So I'd get some things done first, and then yeah. And with the one-on-ones, when you buy the package of three, you have 3 months to use them. So you could spread them out or clump them, whatever works for you.
Okay, yeah, excellent. I thank you so much. You are
Absolutely.
awesome. I'm really
Thank
grateful.
you. You're awesome too. I'm so excited about like you're just you're just like a rocket ship. I love
Mhm.
it. You're gonna get what you want, and I am
Yeah.
so excited about that for you. So awesome.
Thank you so much. Have an amazing day.
You too. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.